Blog Talk Radio.
What the fuck is going on, y'all? Scotty Two Balls up here on CarnivalSpirits Radio. We have a very special guest in the house tonight. Potluck is going to be joining us. We're going to go ahead and see if this is them. 707, you're on. Who's this?
Potluck in the building. Potluck in the building. What's going on, y'all?
1 Ton. What's going on, man?
Man, you know, we both here. 1 Ton underrated, man. We both here, man. What's going on?
What up? Underrated in the house. How you guys doing tonight, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight. I know you guys are busy. Getting ready to head back out on the road with Twisted for the second leg of the Abominations tour. How'd the first round go for you guys?
Oh man, it was awesome. It's always awesome. Going out with Twisted's always good. You know,
yeah.
they're like really good friends, and you know, their shows are always packed, and the fans are always cool. The Juggalos are always showing love, and the family's always cool. You know, and you know, Head he was on the tour, and Little White was on the tour. Everyone got along. We had a good time. We partied, chilled. The business was good. The shows were good. We can't complain. Right.
That's awesome. And this time you guys will be heading out with one of your boys, Glasses Malone. How's that going to work? You guys are pretty tight with him too, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's my son's brother.
Yeah, Glasses Malone, man. He's cool.
Oh, he's your brother?
No, he's not really my brother, but I really jokes around just because, like, he's been my brother, you know what I'm saying, because we just so cool like that. I think it's about time that he went out with Twisted. I know he's been on the Twisted record, man. He's on the Gathering. Yep. He's been on Tech Nine's record. So a lot of, like, the Juggalo family starting to get really introduced to Glasses Malone and what he got going on. And, you know, he's all about the underground, and he got on from, you know, underground and moving his stuff in Los Angeles and Southern California, like, just on some real, just exactly like how the Juggalos would appreciate it, on some real independent underground shit. So he's like, you know, I think they'll be really happy to see his show. I know when he went out on a tour with Potluck, on the Rhymes and Resin tour, I know all the fans that came out to those was really excited about his show. And then, you know, we might even have a special treat of us getting up there together rocking a song. So
that'd be cool, definitely. I know this last tour that you guys headlined, the Underground Rebels tour, was amazing. The show you guys hit up around my area was in Wichita, Kansas, and it was a very, very small show, but you guys, it doesn't matter how big a crowd, how small a crowd, you guys still bring that energy, and I can't thank you enough. You know, I mean, some people, they can play a smaller crowd and not put the effort into it, you know, as much as they would a larger crowd, but you guys still brought it, and I just want to thank you guys for doing that, you know what I'm saying?
It's fun for us, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we do music because we love doing music. Like, if this wasn't our job, me and Underrated would still be making songs. We'd still be going out there doing it. You know, it's funny you bring up a show like that because, you know, we did some really packed shows on that tour, and then we did some shows that weren't as packed. And then a show like Wichita, Kansas, you know, then you get a snake promoter who snakes out and doesn't even pay us, and we end up doing the show for free. But still, we just love making music so much. We going to get out there and we going to rock a show, and everyone who came had a good time. I think that night was maybe 50 people there. But I know all 50 people who came had a really good time, and it was a party. And so, you know, we just build and go on to the next city. So that's, you know, that's how we get down.
Right,
we just feel blessed to be able to do rap as a career, and anybody, you know, if there's one person there, that's still a crazy thing because, you know, that one person is there to see you, and they're pumped on your music, and, you know, just anybody, any fan that loves our music, that's like a great feeling no matter what, you know what I mean? So we try to put it into every single show that we do.
I love the way you guys had the TV set up this time around, and Underrated was doing his DJing this time around, doing the 3-minute miracle, and just hard to get it all out. It just makes me excited thinking about the show, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just an exciting thing to watch you guys do your craft, you know what I'm saying? Big fan, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the street team over here in this area for Potluck, so, you know, I got the Rhymes and Resin for the album promo, and that shit flew out of my hands, you know? I mean, it went quick. Love you.
We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. You know, that's how, like, you know, that's how the family's built. That's how this whole underground movement is built. It's like, you know, we go out there and do songs and do shows and just kick it with everyone in each city, and then different people just get involved and want to help. You know what I'm saying? It's not no mainstream. We don't got $1 million to bribe the radio to play our songs and play MTV and BET to run our single 50 times a week. You know, We just try to make good music and be real people. And then it's people like you on the street team getting out there grinding and helping everybody hear about us that helps the movement build. You know, I watch a lot of people. I watch Tech Nine build it the same exact way. You know, that's what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We learned a lot from Strange Music and Tech and Travis, and so we trying to do it the same way. And you know, it sounds like in Wichita, you know, we got a soldier out there, so that's always good. Right.
Well, we're going to get into a little bit of history of Potluck. When did you guys start rapping? What got you into it? Around what age did you guys start up?
We were doing it. We started DJing first, and we got into music. We always loved hip hop music, and we met.
Our whole life we love hip hop music.
Yeah, our whole life for sure. But we met, and we started out as DJs, and then we started making beats. We had some rappers around where we lived, but there wasn't that many rappers where we live because it was a super small town in Humboldt. There wasn't that much rap music going on, so we decided to just start rapping on our own just for fun. And then, you know, we just ended up loving it, staying up every night making songs, and, you know, that's all we wanted to do day after day after day, so we got better at it, and our friends started liking it, and then we were like, well, we need to make some of these CDs because we can't keep burning all these CDs for our friends, so we pressed up 1,000, and they just went quick, so it just started like that, and we've been doing it. I think our first CD was in the year 2000, so we've been doing it for a long time. I'd say we've been rapping 15 years now, maybe.
Yeah, we've been doing music our whole life. You know what I'm saying? That's all we've ever wanted to do, and it's kind of funny. We just fell into rapping. We never wanted to be rappers. We never thought of ourselves as rappers. You know, we always wanted to just DJ and make beats, but it's something that kind of like feels like it chose us. So that's why when you come to a Potluck show, you know, you'll see, you know, Underrated making most of the beats. You know what I'm saying? You'll see Underrated go, you know, back there and DJ on the turntables a little bit too. You know, next time we go out on our headline tour, you might never see me get behind there on the turntables. You know, it's like, hip-hop junkie, and that's all we've ever cared about in our life and done is started musically. So it's, you know, rap music's been great to us, man. We're really blessed.
That's awesome. What would you say some of your musical influences that brought you into it would be?
We have different opinions, but I guess we have kind of similar opinions. For me, it was like I started off listening to like Bay Area music way back in the day in the early 90s, I guess, 94, 95, and then the super West Coast movement that started with Dre and Snoop and then Tupac and all the West Coast stuff at first. But then I got into DJing with one time, and just from DJing, you have to listen to everything to figure out what you want to play and what people like and what you like. So then it just got it more broad, and pretty much it feels like every style of hip hop we like some of it. You know what I mean? Like some you know, some people will hate on mainstream, but we don't say we hate on all mainstream. Some mainstream has some good artists and some good talent to listen to, and then there's always something to take from every style. So we always just figure out what we like from each style and kind of put that into our music. You know, by studying how they do their work and how they do their mixes and how they rap. Like the West Coast rapper will be different than the East Coast rapper, and you know, but we like a piece of everything. It seems like there's not really that much discrimination. I mean, we are on the West Coast, so we have more influence like that, but we really love all types of rap.
Right.
You ask me, I'll say a lot of the same things he just said, but I mean, to get a little more specific, you know, if you're from the West Coast and you don't say Tupac is the best rapper ever, it's like, that's like you should be shunned. You should be kicked off the West Coast. So, obviously, Tupac, you know what I'm saying, is definitely a big influence. And then, for me, being a big dude, I always looked up to someone like E40. Actually, my homeboy, Joe Brown, who does skits on our records and everything, if people are really into Potluck, they've heard the Joe Brown skits, the Joe Brown Life Coach skits. He actually bought a CD from E40 out of his trunk when he was out there hustling CDs. So before he was on straight underground. So I've been a fan of E40 his whole career. And then just getting into, like, the indie movements and stuff and just watching what different people do, you know, watching someone like Atmosphere and, you know, Rhymesayers and then build their whole family and what they got going on. And then obviously watching somebody like Tech Nine and just seeing, like, just how much that dude just loves music and how hard he works and how he's, like, 150% about the fans. And, you know, I've seen him sit there and sign autographs for hours on end. And then, you know, I've seen dude go to shows where he should be the headliner and promoters make him go on first, you know what I'm saying? And he goes on first and kills it. Like, he's just a very, very humble rap superstar. And that's the same thing that E40 is, man. We've been fortunate enough to be around him a lot and tour with him and do songs with him. And, like, I always looked at that before anyone even knew who POTLUCK was. And then as we gain more and more fans, I always looked at people like E40 and Tech Nine as a big influence on how to conduct yourself as a man and as an MC and as a hip-hop artist, staying humble but still working hard. And so my personal influences, that'll be two of them right there.
That's cool. Okay, we're going back to the tour here. We got the first leg out. How long is the second leg going through to?
Second leg goes to, I don't know how many they've announced yet, but I think May 5th is the last day in Detroit. It's what they told me. I think the last date that they've already announced is up till like April 19th. I think that one goes. That was in Salt Lake City. So there's a couple little fill dates that'll happen before there, and then soon they're going to be announcing this final, 2 weeks of it. So it'll go from March 14th in Canada all the way till May 5th, and then after that we're working on trying to get up to Canada with POTLUCK and Glasses Malone, and then
that's cool.
Doing some of our own shows, working our way back to Humboldt. So.
A lot of people in Canada will be happy. They're complaining they never get any shows up there or anything, so yeah, definitely. Do you guys have any plan for any upcoming releases this year?
Yeah, we're working on our free CD. It's called THC, The Humboldt Chronicles. We're about 80-90% done with it. If we weren't going on this tour, we'd be able to finish it in the next month and put it out, but we got to go on this tour. So when we get back, we're going to knock out last month, and then we're just going to put it out there free. It'll be everywhere you can get it for free, man. It'll be in a million different spots. You can download it online. And it's a real CD. It's a real thing that we spent, a year or a year plus of our career working on. And it's the best CD that we've done to this point in our career. And, it'll be out there. So
it's a real CD and not a mixtape, huh?
Nah, it's a real CD. It's our real CD. We spent over a year and a half of our lives working on this CD. And between the tours. And it'll come out. It's going to come out this summer, and we'll put it out so everyone can, they can catch up on what's been going on in the lives of POTLUCK over the past, year and a half.
That's cool. That's awesome. Everybody loves free stuff. Definitely free music. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's like we can, when we're doing what we do in making music, it's like we can go and. Listen to Best Buy tell us that nobody buys weed music no more and no one cares about the underground. And if you're not going platinum and on the radio like 2 Chainz and Kanye, no one's going to buy your CD. And then have such a struggle to get the CD into all the proper locations so all our fans can get it. And then all the business people and all the millionaires who own Best Buy and FYE and all the distributions, the Sonys and all that can make all the money. And then half our fans can't even get access to our CD. Or we could just say, fuck the industry and who cares about all these big corporations, and we could just give our music away for free and let everybody who wants to hear it get it. And if they really like it, they'll support. They'll come to the show, they'll buy a shirt, they'll keep us making music. That's our plan.
Definitely. That's cool. That's the way to go. That's awesome. Let's see. How would you say your new music, coming up, differs from your earlier tracks? Like from your earlier music?
I think it's just the progression, the natural of just always studying everyone else and see what's going on around you, and always, we always try to stay relevant as far as what's coming out at the same time, because, like I said, we listen to a lot of different styles, and just always trying to improve in every aspect, and every single rap that we write, we sit down and go, okay, this was even harder to write than the last one, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to be better this one than I was last time every single time. As far as the beat goes, the rap goes, the mix goes, the overall CD done in the end. So I mean, I wouldn't. I'm trying to think what was different as far as the sound of it. I just think it's kind of in the direction of all the other music that you hear a little bit. It got a little flavors different as far as, you know, the bigger things that people were doing with the way the beats go or the snare rolls, and you know, it was just kind of just a little more current than the stuff was before because it's newer. So we're always trying to just, you know, stay on that same level with everybody else, but, you know, keep it potluck style, of course, and do our own thing and, you know, say our own styles of things and our different things that are going on in our life, or, you know, our weed music, of course, what's going on in Humboldt. So just a more current version, but always improved and everything, you know, trying to make the best CD we can for the people. So you're not going to hear it like, oh, they just fell off this time. And, you know, when you hear somebody, you're like, damn, that's my favorite artist, and you buy their CD and you just tell they didn't put their all into it. We just try to make sure every time a fan hears it or someone new hears it, you could tell that we're putting our all into it every time. So until that stops, you know, keep it moving.
Right. And it's anytime you get a Potluck CD, you're gonna get to know Potluck. It's gonna be like opening up Underrated's Diary or One Ton's Diary. You're gonna know real hip hop. You're gonna know real raps. The lyrics are gonna be all genuine. It's not gonna be no fake, you know, cookie cutter lifestyle or no fake mainstream thing. And when Underrated talks about influencing and listen to a lot of people, we just always make sure we listen to people to make sure the professionalism and the production values and the mixing values and the quality of music is like it would be, just like $1 million got put behind it. But really, me and Underrated with Jeff Simmons making them albums, you know, in Humboldt and you know, and then with Jeff in LA, just making those records all in-house, all us, but just studying the whole music environment to make sure our professionalism always stays top-notch, but at the same time you still get the raw, underground Potluck vibe that every fan that's been into our music so far loves, and that if a new fan hears that for the first time, it'll be their new favorite. So that's what we always try to do on every CD, and just keep improving the professionalism. That's what we do.
Right. And Rhymes and Resin, I mean, you guys had so many relatable songs on there, two that come to mind. That really stuck out to me is Runaway and I'm Different. I mean, the first time I heard those tracks, I was like, wow, that's exactly what I'm thinking, you know, put to music. It's like you guys just read my mind and put it to music. It was crazy.
It's crazy, man, because I think a lot of people, no matter who they are, or what they look like, or what race they are, or whatever, how old they are, even, like, if you can communicate how you're feeling a certain time, or explain something that you're going through, a lot of people, you know, they have the same emotions and the same feelings a lot of times. So that's what's so cool about music, is you can just, you know, sit down and write what you're going through, and people can really relate to that sometimes, because it's just a different way of just sitting down and talking to somebody. You know, you put on some music and you hear the rap, but if you can, you know, convey the exact thing of sitting down and talking to you in a kind of creative way, a different way you want to hear it. But yeah, there's something awesome about that. That's one of the best things about music to me. You know,
right?
Like Jay-Z will sit down and write a song, he'll sound like he's just sitting there talking to you. You know, of course he'll do it in his super creative, out of this world lyric way, but he'll sit down and make you feel like you're just sitting right in front of him. He's sitting there explaining something to you. So, you know, and the better we get, the easier that communication becomes. You know, like you can, you know, your first CD might have some good feelings on it and all that, but the more that you do it, the more that you perfect your skill, the more that you can just sit down and really write down words. They might have to rhyme, but you can really say what you're thinking. And, you know, I think that song is one of those songs I remember. I remember that one too. I know what you're talking about. So that's cool that you felt it like that.
Yeah. Another one that just really brings, you guys like wrote a Father's Day song. My dad, you know, I mean, there's not another song like that out there, and it's such a great song because, I mean, you can just feel the emotion in it, and thank you for that song, you know, because people out there, I mean, there's a lot of deadbeat dads out there, you know, just the world we live in, but the fathers who are out there that do take care of their kids and are there for their kids, you know, I'm a father of 4 kids, you know, and I'm not one of them deadbeat fathers. You know, I want to be remembered by my kids as a good father, you know. So a song like that comes along, it really gives you a good feeling, you know.
If you knew me and Underrated's fathers, they've been a really big influence on our lives, you know, like Underrated is really close with his father. You know, my father recently passed, so rest in peace, but he was, you know, he's a big influence in my life, and we felt just it's important to let people know and honor the people in our lives who were such big influences. You know, everybody can sit down and say, you know, Joe Montana or Michael Jordan was my idol, but when I look back, I look at my father like my idol. I look at him as a stand-up dude. You know, he came on a boat from Africa with $100 and became a doctor. You know, so it's like there's no limit to what's a dedicated and a hard-working, you know, man, if he puts his heart into something, can accomplish. And when my father instilled that in me, and I look back at the memories I have with him, whether it's, you know, him teaching me how to ride a bike, you know, him teaching me about educating yourself and being knowledgeable, or him making me a man and toughing me up, you know, kicking me in the butt and saying, go out there, man. If somebody tries to punk you, you better fight him until you can't take your last breath, you know. So I felt like a song like that kind of honored the fathers in our lives, Underrated's father, what he's meant to him, what my father's meant to me. At the same time, I'm a father. I have 2 little girls. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And so I'm hoping I can learn to be the best father I can be, like my father was to me, and I can be that father to my girls. And, you know, a lot of people always talk about that. You know, there's different people, you know, fathers might be sick or they were really influential in life, and everyone wants to give moms credit. And I love my mother, too. I give her a lot of credit for, you know, the softness she instilled in me and all that. But I just feel like when me and Underrated got together and thought about making this song, it was like the dads don't get no love. There's really good fathers out there that really raise their kids and really put their kids first and really work hard, that need a little bit of shine. And that was a way of honoring our fathers and then letting people hear it and relate to it. And, you know, like you saying that, and there's so many people who come up to us and say, hey, I played my dad for my father, you know what I'm saying, and I played it for him on Father's Day, or my father's sick right now and I played it for him and we both cried. You know, like people tell us stuff like that all the time, and that's the type of reward we get from making music. We ain't tripping on the money we make. We ain't tripping on all that, you know, because when you start chasing money, then you start chasing other emotions. But we chasing this style of emotion, someone who can relate to songs like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you guys were, that song is just on point, and very, very moving song to me. So let's see, I'm getting off track here. If you guys had one album to pick, what would be your favorite album of all time?
My favorite album of all time is Snoop Dogg, Doggystyle, and I don't want to hear it from anybody. It just is. Because
hell yeah.
There's just something about the way when that one came out, Dre had already had, I believe his Chronic was out, and NWA was out and all that. And when Chronic came out, the Chronic came out, and I was like, oh my God, this is so different and so dope and so just, this is just bringing West Coast into the front. Like, what is going on right now? This is a whole different kind, like it's a whole different style. But, I mean, NWA and Ice-T and them, they were out, but when the Chronic came out, it was like something on a whole different level. And then when Doggystyle came out, and you were so excited for Snoop because he was all over the Chronic album, and then when the whole Snoop album came out and you got to hear that voice and his like little nasal gangster whatever flow it was, I don't know what you want to call it, but back then when he was just hungry, is like how E40 says, hungry, he was just killing it, and Dre's beats were so on point, and everything was just done so good. I remember skipping school so many times and listening to that on repeat. And I don't know, I've never had I've heard a lot of albums I love, and I do, and I can't say like, you know, you sit and listen and say, oh, those are the best lyrics or those are the best beats ever made, but for the time, to me, for the time, that was just the one that made me feel like, damn, I love rap music, and this thing can just be on repeat for days. It doesn't even matter. I know every word to every song, you know, so those are the good times.
Yes, Doggystyle is one of my top favorite albums, definitely.
Yeah, it's so good.
Why do the later releases not have G's Up, Hose Down on it?
I don't know. Is that true? I didn't know
Have you ever noticed that?
Uh-uh.
The later releases do not have G's up, hose down on it.
That's the sample clearance is what that is.
Yeah, probably.
I've always wondered that.
Huh. Well, I heard the one when it first came out, and that was the one I put on repeat, so that was on that one.
Right.
That one got
yeah. Right.
For me, I would say it's Tupac, Me Against the World, just because that is kind of in between his career. He had already, released 2 records plus the Thug Life record. So he was, at the top of his game in terms of, skill level. But it was before he got with Death Row and became that, worldwide, rap phenomenon, which was the next record, All Eyes on Me. So you got to hear on Me Against the World, you got to hear a lot of his realer songs about real issues like we were talking about before, You just got to hear real emotions that weren't about being pop and making singles. You know what I'm saying? You got to hear, real records from Pac. And I think Pac, since he's so, he's the most famous rapper of all time, and if you took a poll, most people would say he's the best ever. So, I mean, people on the East Coast will say Biggie or whatever, but if you polled everyone in the world who likes hip-hop, there'd probably be more votes for Tupac than any other rapper. So, yeah. I felt like that's a record that was right in the perfect time where you can get a real Pac, what he wanted to get across, but before the mainstream could kind of swallow one up and his machine would make him make songs that were more commercially appealing. So that's my favorite one.
Very good album also. Fuck, all the Tupac is fucking great. All right, we're about to wrap up. I have one last question here. You guys have a wide variety of fans, juggalos, juggalettes, cottonmouth, kings and queens, technicians, every range of fan, but a lot of the majority of people who listen to our show are juggalos, and we want to get your perspective on, ever since the FBI has labeled juggalos a gang. When you first heard this, what was your initial reaction to that?
They're stupid as fuck.
I just think that, anytime you're looking for the cops to say anything that even makes halfway sense, you're looking at the wrong thing. Fuck the police, the cops are dumb, the government, they can't even keep the budget balanced, and they can't even, do the basic things that we need sometimes in this country. So when I always consider the source when someone says something. When the FBI or CIA or whatever wants to label juggalos a gang, that's just based off ignorance. And to me, I think is ridiculous. From the outside looking in, before we were welcomed into the family by Twisted and got to see just the great juggalo movement and got to, become part of it, it can be a little bit intimidating because it looks very intimidating at the beginning. But once you go and you experience and you become part of the family and you see the love that's there and you see, people saying, hey, I live in Oregon and I'm trying to get out to the gathering, and they just post it on the internet, and then some fam just drives by their house and picks them up, somebody they never met in their life, and they spend 4 days driving across the country so they can go to the gathering. And you go to shows and there's mosh pits and kids are falling on the ground and they're picking each other up, making sure everyone's safe. And when you start feeling that love, and that thing is unlike any other thing in music that I've ever experienced, any other type of fan base. And to just discredit that out of ignorance, to me, I just think it's just straight ridiculous. But again, in the end, I don't even hold the FBI and all them in high regards anyway. I think they're idiots. So,
Absolutely.
I don't even really trip on what they think or what they say. I just know it's based out of ignorance.
Would you say it's a fraternity more than it's a gang?
It's, kind of, but it's not even that. It's a family. It's for real a family. You know what I'm saying? It's just like your cousin said, hey, man, I know you going to the family reunion out there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, come pick me up. You know what I'm saying? You say, sure, I'll come by and pick you up. It's for real a family. And, it's a wonderful thing. And, sometimes, ICP gets criticized for the why they started it and the reasons and what it's become now and old school juggalos and new school juggalos and all that, man. All that is just so secondary. I just look at just the wonderful thing that is the family and the love that I've personally experienced in all the tours I've ever done, or fans who's come to our shows at the beginning before I even recognized what was going on, and every experience I personally had. could be welcomed as a member to how we are now. And every experience in between is just a great thing. And
the Juggalo movement is a wonderful thing, and it's something that, like you said, there's nothing like it in music. And I think that it's just when you could say the FBI or whoever's in power, when someone in power doesn't understand something, they like to just hate on it. They get scared of it because they don't understand. No, how would they understand? They're doing a whole different thing. They don't get what's going on. They just see, from the outside, they see the painted faces and they see the, maybe kids being loud and the soda throwing around or whatever it might be that they see. They're just scared of it, so they have to do something. And other people around are scared of it because they don't get it. This is how it is. If you don't understand something, usually, not us in general, but people who are in power, if you don't understand what's going on, you usually want to stop it because you don't know what's going on. You're scared of it. You're usually in control of everything. So, I think that's a big part of it, too.
Absolutely.
So it's ignorance, it has nothing to do with it being a gang or anything. It's just, they want to have control and say, look, this is what we think it is, so we're just going to call it that, and now, we're better than that. It's a gang, so it's negative, something that we don't get, so it's a negative thing, which is completely the opposite of what it really is. And you can't really explain it to people. You kind of just got to be involved in it and see how it's going to understand. Like, we didn't understand. We didn't look at it negative, but we didn't understand. And then once we got into it, we were like, okay, now I get it. And the shit, it's an amazing thing. And I would never, ever, ever talk bad about it once I figured out what was going on.
Right. You guys nailed it. Yeah, it's a great way of explaining it, definitely.
So
well, guys, anything else you guys want to add before we wrap the show up here?
Thanks for having us, and anyone out there who's not familiar with the Potluck music movement, man, you can follow us, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're all Potluck Music. You can go to our website, Potluck Music, check out all our new shows, check out the new videos we got coming up, and this summer THC is coming out, the Humboldt Chronicles, so make sure you go support, find out where it is around your area, go pick it up, listen to it, make 10 copies for your friends to give it away.
And there might be a 420 mixtape. There might be a 420 mix coming out, too, but just kind of think about that for a little bit.
Yeah. Think on that a little bit. Every 420 we got to have something for y'all, so think about that, too.
Right on. I had some homies on the other day, OS7, and they wanted me to say what's up to you guys, and thanks for the ride from Chicago. And,
OS7.
OS7, yeah. We got a track with them, and they out there grinding, too, so shouts out to OS7, too.
Right on. Good guys over there. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. Good luck on the tour. We'll be looking out for that release. We'll put all your links up under the video and everything, and we'll get this shit spread out. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Right on. Appreciate it.
Right on, man. Thanks for having us, man. Thanks for having us.
All right. Peace.